Welcome to the latter half of the weekend. Many kids across the country returning back to school after March break. Krissy Vann joining you, and some things we're following. Safe freeze, well, many will be saying that in the eastern portion of the country. The Boston Banff, well, spoiler alert, not one you're going to want to make angry. And worms, daffodils, sunny, and birdies. We'll tell you what those words mean in just a moment. But of course, we need to address the situation in Atlantic Canada. We have been in storm watch, and as of 9 a.m. today, this is what we've been seeing. Now, Halifax at 6 centimeters of snow. I'll tell you why that's good, because we did have that switch over to rain in the overnight. And can you imagine if all that snow fell as rain? Because we have much colder air that's ushering in, and unfortunately, that's going to be freezing right up. Through Monday, this is what we have left to fall. You'll notice some high amounts here in western Newfoundland. Sea effect snow going to be the culprit from that, and this is what I mean about the colder air ushering in. Halifax minus 11, Charlottetown minus 13 to start things off in the morning, and adding a wind chill to that. Flash freeze is going to be a bit of a concern. I know Chris St. Clair has addressed that in one of our Science Behind the Weathers. Now, another sign of spring, we head to the west, and this is the boss. This is identified as Bear 122 in Banff, and he's made his return. Mama bears and their cubs are going to be around, and that could pose a danger to yourself. We have a great article at theweathernetwork.com. And as well, you should familiarize yourself if you are traveling in those areas of what you should do if you encounter a bear. Of course, stay calm. You want to speak slowly and really not make any sudden moves, as it could be quite dangerous for you. Well, we had a little bit of fun on Twitter. Remember those 4 words that I told you in the beginning? Well, that's because we asked you in one word, what do you do or what do you think of when it comes to signs of spring? So we snow. Yeah, that's been a reality for almost every province across the country. And then Melissa Dondale says crocus. Of course, the sign of spring would be all those spring blooms. Now, Tony Anishin, he says barbecue. Well, I'm here to tell you, Tony, true Canadian here. I never stopped barbecuing. In the heart of those snowfalls, we were out there because, you know, there's only one way to make a steak. And then Chris Bodie, a regular contributor, well, he agreed with Robin as well. So lots of signs of spring. But what's to come in these next couple days of spring? Well, a couple highlights as we look across the country here. Edmonton and Calgary today. Similar setup tomorrow. Edmonton, you could pick up 5 to 10 centimeters. Calgary, more that realm of 5 to 8. We'll continue to see showers along the west coast. High pressure in place for Ontario, but any sunshine you see is not going to be keeping you warm, and brisk conditions as well with blowing snow in Newfoundland. Now, coming up, we're going to be joining Chris St. Clair.
Doesn't that look good? Oh my.
Smell like beef patties? 60 years in the making. And a leopard you can't get enough of. This is News in a Minute. Ever wanted to smell like a Whopper? No? Just me? Well, now here's your chance. Pen pals of 60 years finally meet. Ever since high school, these two have written each other from across the world. And let's cue up the cuteness. Some pretty amazing video there, but of course we've been seeing endless amounts of amazing viewer video coming out of Atlantic Canada, and this blowing snow in Nova Scotia, no different. Yeah, another weekend, another storm watch. Krissy Vann joining you. And across the country, really 2 lows that we've been watching today. Of course, this one here that's made its way through Alberta and the prairies and then into Atlantic Canada, where it's been an absolute mess. I know that Nova Scotia through Halifax, you saw a brief period of rain, and then it switched over to snow, which is good news because cold temperatures, and behind that we do have the concern of a flash freeze. These totals that you see here, this was as of March 21st. It's at 499 centimeters. I expect that's going to be bumped up quite a bit. Through Monday, this is what's left to fall. I do want to highlight western Newfoundland. You're going to see the system make its way out, but then we do have the setup for the potential of sea effect snow, and it's going to be still remaining very gusty. I know you've had substantial winds through the day, particularly the wreck house winds firing up. So blowing snow is going to be a concern if you're traveling. Taking a look ahead, this low makes its way out for the week. We have the cold air in behind, high pressure in place. The next system we're watching is actually en route for Ontario, looking like it should be warm enough. Temperatures are actually bumping up, which is great news, for it to fall as rain, but still going to be a little bit of a mess. Of course, we want to know how you've been spending this first week of spring. A great way to share that is with your weather selfie.
We want you on the Weather Network. Send us a video talking about your weather and you can get featured in our weather selfie. This airs every weekend here on the Weather Network starting at 9:13 p.m. I'll look forward to your submissions.
There you go. So you can tweet at Rachel Schutzen, TWN, and of course you can share your photos and videos at Weather Network. A little preview here of the temperatures. You can see that cold Arctic air plaguing the east. We'll have more details on how long that will last coming up.